And he listed some of the times in which he feels that our inalienable rights for the pursuit of joy and happiness and so on and so forth were robbed. Aurora, Colorado, the movie theater shooting, the mass shooting at Santa Barbara, outside of UC Santa Barbara, Newtown, Connecticut, Columbine. And lastly, he said, and teared up as he talked about it, his own home city of Chicago. And then a turn from those tears that the president wiped away on his face back to politics and telling people that voters need to remember, come election time, which leaders are standing in the way of gun safety, in his opinion.
I think when I watched that, what was really upsetting was the tears that he wiped away again and again. Yeah. You want that for, I mean, we feel frightened about what's going on with ISIS. And he can't pull that kind of passion for anything but this. And I feel bad about those kids in Connecticut without question. I mean, your heart breaks for them. Right. But it's only about this that he gets so upset about and never about terror.
Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad. And by the way, it happens on the streets of Chicago every day.
Well, many of us cried big tears the day that Sandy Hook happened. There have been so many times that we've had our hearts broken. But as we come back out to the couch, it was interesting to see the reactions among some of you when the president teared up. Why was that, Andrea?
Well, because if he really cared about an issue, especially like Chicago in his hometown, and it was plausible, he would be doing something very different than he's doing, and he would have spoken out a long time ago. I mean, this is how many years? Almost 8 years. He's almost at the end of his term. And you haven't heard him go to Chicago and really speak out about this issue. And he is uniquely poised to do so, really. But everything he's doing won't solve the problem. So I would check that podium for like a raw onion or some no more tears. I mean, it's not really believable. I mean, and the award goes too. We are in award season.
I don't understand why he's doing this. I agree with Andrea. The reason why I was reacting the way I was reacting when he was crying is because it just didn't seem horribly authentic. And maybe it is. I don't know him at all. But I agree with you. If there's so much more to be done, again, if you care so much, go to your hometown of Chicago instead of talking about God-fearing Americans who just want to protect themselves when ISIS is coming to their hometown and shooting up 14 people.
I think it's that contrast, too. I mean, if you go back to what happened the day after the Paris attacks and we saw the president come out and there was no passion. You know, I mean, and he talked about what had happened. And I remember Bill Hemmer on that day and a lot of people, and it was sort of staggering the way he was not emotional about this thing that was so terrifying, even though it wasn't in our own country. San Bernardino, same thing. You know, he comes out and they say, well, he's just cool. That's the way he is that he doesn't get emotional. And he's not like that.
Apparently he does.
Right. So that's what, I mean, we haven't seen this maybe ever, or at least in a very long time. And it's about something that feels political, that feels somewhat insincere, that feels like it's not going to make a huge difference.
It feels like bad political theater. That's what it looked like to me more than anything else. And